Most people assume that fame reveals who someone truly is, that the person you see acting out on a talk show, making outrageous demands, or slowly unraveling in public was always that way underneath. But psychology tells a completely different story. Fame does not just reveal character, it actively reshapes it. It rewires how a person sees themselves, how they relate to other people, and how they process reality. And the changes that happen are predictable, documented, and in many cases, deeply destructive. Today, we are breaking down exactly what fame does to the human mind. The first and most immediate psychological shift is what researchers call the loss of a stable identity. Before fame, most people build their sense of self through ordinary feedback from the world around them. Friends who tell them the truth, strangers who treat them like everyone else, failures that teach them their actual limits. Fame removes almost all of that. Suddenly, everyone around you is telling you that you are extraordinary. Doors open that were closed before. People laugh at everything you say. Strangers express love for you without knowing you. And the brain, which is built to calibrate self-perception based on social feedback, starts receiving entirely distorted signals. Research published in the Journal of Phenomenological Psychology, which interviewed 15 well-known American celebrities about their experience of fame, found that nearly all of them described the same disorienting collision between who they actually were and the version of themselves that the world was reflecting back. One participant described it as a daily battle between your image and yourself. And that battle is exhausting in ways that are almost impossible to explain to people who have never experienced it. The second psychological shift is what psychologists call acquired situational narcissism. This is different from the personality disorder that someone is born with. It is narcissism that develops in response to an environment that consistently treats you as exceptional. When every person around you defers to your preferences, when your demands are met without pushback, when criticism is filtered out by managers and publicists before it reaches you, your brain begins to genuinely recalibrate what normal is. Studies show that celebrities, particularly reality television stars, consistently score higher on narcissism scales than the general population. Research shows this is not simply because narcissistic people are more drawn to fame. The conditions of fame itself generate narcissistic traits in people who did not previously have them. The attention becomes an expectation. The entitlement becomes a default setting. And because the people around a major celebrity are almost all financially dependent on keeping that celebrity happy, there is almost nobody left willing to give them honest feedback. The third shift is deep and persistent mistrust. This one surprises people because it seems counterintuitive. A famous person is surrounded by people constantly. How could they be isolated? The answer lies in the quality of those relationships. Fame research consistently shows that celebrities develop an almost universal suspicion about other people's motives. When you do not know whether someone likes you for who you are, or for what you represent, for the access you provide, or for the association with your name, genuine human connection becomes nearly impossible. One celebrity in the research described it as a shift from trusting people until proven untrustworthy to mistrusting everyone until proven safe. That shift from openness to suspicion produces a kind of emotional isolation that can exist in the middle of a room full of people. The clinical psychologist Dr. Donna Rockwell, who has spent decades studying celebrity mental health, described fame as closely mirroring substance abuse in its patterns: addictive, consuming, destructive, and very difficult to step away from even when the damage is visible. The fourth shift is the severing of the private self from the public persona. Every famous person maintains two versions of themselves: the one the world sees and the one that exists privately. In the beginning, those two versions are relatively close, but over time, the gap between them grows. The public persona has to stay consistent with what the audience expects. It has to align with brand deals, public statements, and the image that has been built. Authenticity gets increasingly sacrificed in favor of consistency. And when you spend years performing a version of yourself for public consumption, you begin to lose track of where the performance ends and the real person begins. Psychologists describe this process as depersonalization, a clinical term for feeling detached from your own identity. Rates of depression and anxiety are documented to be significantly higher among people in the public eye compared to the general population. The pressure of maintaining an image that the world has approved of, while privately feeling like a completely different person, is a chronic source of psychological distress. The fifth and perhaps most underestimated shift is what fame does to a person's relationship with criticism. Ordinary people receive negative feedback regularly. A boss corrects their work. A friend tells them when they are being difficult. That feedback, while uncomfortable, is psychologically protective. It keeps self-perception grounded in reality. Famous people lose that. Criticism that reaches them in public is extreme, often cruel, and comes from strangers who do not know them. The nuanced, constructive feedback from people who care about you disappears. What remains is adulation on one side and extreme hostility on the other, with nothing in between. The brain, which needs calibrated feedback to function healthily, ends up operating without it. That is part of why so many famous people display what looks from the outside like an extreme inability to handle criticism. It is not weakness. It is the result of years operating in a feedback environment that no human being was psychologically designed to handle. The most haunting finding in the research on fame is this. Almost every celebrity studied described experiencing fame more as a sudden impact than a gradual transition. It does not ease you in. It hits you all at once, changes everything around you overnight, and then leaves you to figure out who you are inside a completely new reality, with no roadmap and very few people you can trust to tell you the truth. Fame does not reveal the person. It transforms them. And the transformation, while it looks different from the outside, depending on the individual, follows psychological patterns that are remarkably consistent across cultures, industries, and generations. The spotlight is not neutral. It changes the way you see yourself, the way you see others, and ultimately, the way you experience being human.